This is Head Bustin' Boxing, and we are back in the house. And we're gonna jump in on this boxing scene article dealing with Tony Bellew discussing the future of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, and well, really Ruiz and Joshua as well. So let's go ahead and jump on in. And by the way, I will put the link of the article in the description, so if you want to read it yourself, you can. But it says former cruiserweight champion Sky Sports pundit Tony Bellew is not fully confident that a rematch between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury would take place in February. I've been saying this for a minute now, man. I'll be honest with you. I really do see Wilder and Ruiz fighting before him and Fury, but let's continue. At the moment, Fury is looking to return on a date in October, while Gerald Miller and Trevor Bryant being mentioned as a potential opponent, and Wilder is likely back on a date in October or November in a rematch with Ruiz-Ortiz. Now, I believe the date was a little earlier than that when it was previously announced, but now they're saying November. Anyway, it says around the same time, Joshua is expected to have a rematch with IBF, IBO, WBA, WBO world champion Andy Ruiz. Last month, Ruiz dropped Joshua 4 times before their contest was waived off in the 7th round. Joshua has since exercised an immediate rematch clause. Both Ruiz and Wilder, who holds the WBC world title, are both Ruiz and Wilder, who holds the WBC world title, are managed by Al Heyman and compete under the Premier Boxing Channel banner. Should Ruiz win, Bellew predicts Wilder will face him in a 5-belt unification in a fight that is much easier to make since both men are handled by the same promotional banner. In the United States, Fury is contractually tied to Top Rank, who have an exclusive content deal with ESPN. At this moment, says Bellew, in time, no one will sign up to a rematch because people will want to see how Ruiz and Joshua played out, said Bellew told PA. Deontay Wilder will be waiting to see what happens, purely because Ruiz and Wilder fall under the Al Heyman promotional banner, and that will be the fight that will happen. Al Heyman will want there to be one champion, one face, and he will want that face to be Deontay Wilder. Yeah, but that ain't exactly what the WBC wanted. The WBC has already come out and said they want Andy Ruiz as their champion. Now, whether he can beat Deontay Wilder, that's a whole nother story. But they did come out. They literally put that out there. But anyway, if Wilder gets to that position, he will run the boxing world because he will have the greatest prize in all the boxing, all 4 belts, a unified champion. So I don't think Wilder will be making any kind of move until any kind of move until he sees the Joshua Ruiz rematch. Unfortunately for Fury, I think Wilder will then back away from any rematch because he will be the man in pole position and he can dictate the division. Well, I think Tony Bellew is pretty much on point. I've been saying this ever since the WBC and the WBA came out and said that they wanted Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz to fight after this AJ mess is taken care of. So don't be surprised. Now, I would assume, let me throw this in also. They also said they don't care about no mandatory with the WBC. They don't care. So Dillian White or whoever else, matter of fact, Eddie Hearn has already come out and said that Dillian White won't be fighting Deontay Wilder till after he fight Tyson Fury. Well, everybody knew that except for you and Dillian White. It seemed like, you guys really thought y'all was going to be able to force the WBC and Deontay Wilder hand. That's not the case. That's a bigger fight. Whether you like it or not, Fury and Wilder is a bigger fight. But here's the thing, you might get pushed back even further, because if Ruiz and Wilder is able to be made, if he beats Anthony Joshua and Wilder beats Ortiz, that fight is going to take precedent over Fury and Wilder, because it's a unification Matter of fact, it's an undisputed fight for all the marbles. So, like, it ain't just, you might get pushed back 3 fights. You know, Wilder Ortiz, Wilder Ortiz, Wilder Ruiz, and Wilder Fury. Dillian White might not see Deontay Wilder realistically until 2021. Realistically. Now, I'm not saying it won't happen then or before then, but let's say he fight Ruiz in the beginning of the winter, whatever, November, December time, right? Then he fights Andy Ruiz, because here's the thing, if he fights Andy Ruiz, it's a good chance they might do it on the Mexican holiday, Cinco de Mayo, so you talking like May. Then if he fight Fury after that, that'll probably be at the end of the summer / winter, end of the summer / fall, and he probably won't fight again that year. So yeah, if he does fight Dillian White, it's a good chance it'll probably be either the tail end of 2020 or 2021. But back to the original conversation, I can really see Ruiz and Wilder getting it on after the AJ fight. Now, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I would love to see Andy Ruiz fight a bunch of people. I would like to see him fight Adam Kalnacki. I would like to see him fight Dillian White. Oscar Rivas, the winner of that fight. But him and Wilder, once again, how can you turn that down? We've been waiting for a unified champion basically forever and a day, since Lennox Lewis perhaps? So I don't think we've had a unified champion since Lewis. So you're talking at least about 15, 16 years, I would assume. So this is huge. Nothing is going to take priority over that. I don't care what it is. Like, to be honest with you, AJ, lucky he's getting his shot in a rematch. Because if it was up to me, I would brush all of that off. The Ortiz, Wilder, and Ruiz versus AJ. I would make them fight now, because it was so much pressure to have an AJ Wilder fight and it never happened. We need this to happen now. And if AJ wins, it still has to happen. It has to. Nobody wants multiple champions, not at the heavyweight division. We want a unified champion. And at this point, it really don't matter who it is. May the best man win. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got. I agree with what Tony Bellew saying. I do believe, like I said, the WBC and the WBA already put it out there. Now, whether the IBF and the WBO jump on board, who knows? But according to the WBC, they want it to happen. That's Wilder's belt, and the WBA want it to happen. And matter of fact, the WBA really don't have a champion. Really, the IBF don't either, because the WBA, both one champion, or mandatories, I should say, one mandatory to WBO, their mandatory is coming off an injury, which is Usyk, and the IBF mandatory, or #1 guy, is on suspension with Pulev. So they should be on board anyway. Plus, like I said, a unification or an undisputed fight trumps everything anyway. But anyway, this here Bussin' Boxing Fight Doctor. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Would you prefer to see Ruiz and Wilder over Wilder and Fury? Do you think it's possible that those two fights, do you think it's possible that they will be fighting next after they get past their respective opponents, if they get past their respective opponents in AJ and Ortiz? But anyway, let me know what you think. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. This is Head Bussin' Boxing's Fight Doctor. I am out.